Welcome back to Chamber Exchange, our final segment. Want to thank the sponsors that make the show happen. That's St. Vincent Hospital in Bank Hometown. Pleased to have with us back on the show, Adriana Vaccaro from Culture Redesigned. Welcome.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah. Well, since you were on last time, you have become an author.
Yes.
So we've got the book right here. But before maybe we get into that, we could kind of share with our viewers a little bit about your company, Culture Redesigned, and the different services that you can provide working with employers, employees, and teams.
Yes, thank you, Tim. We provide organizational culture development, training and development, and right now we've seen that culture really supports companies in upskilling and reskilling the workforce. All of our clients have similar problems. We need more people. How do we keep our people? Where are the employees? And now with all the different generations we have, technology initiatives, workplace culture is not a nice to have. It's really what can make a business successful.
Yeah, it's if people feel invested, valued, but it's also kind of for companies and talking to employers, really kind of rethinking and being aggressive and proactive about, we've got a very diverse community. With shortages in the workforce, you've got to get out and engage different elements of the workforce, whether they've been here for 4 generations or they've come from another country 4 weeks ago. You've got to be out there working and trying to build a team, and that is creating an appreciation and
Right.
And a mindset of where the company needs to go.
Right, and sometimes I think there is this misconception that you only have to train that employee that just came 4 weeks ago, right? But you also have to get the environment ready so that when they come in, their experience is positive because they're also contributing. So we want to make sure everyone feels connected to that sense of contribution.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the companies that you've worked with, large, small, and in the medium, but is there kind of like a consistent approach? I assume a company says, look, we want to do some better training, we want to do better team building. You probably sit maybe with the owner or the leadership team and do some type of assessment, but then to do it right, it's not a one-off, right? There's got to be kind of a yearly or biannually or quarterly. What would you say is the kind of best kind of practice?
I will say 70% of culture initiatives fail. And it's because of exactly what you said. People think it's a one-time, a one employee retreat, a one training, and culture is about cultivating the environment. So yes, we do an assessment and we tell the organization where they are, what the next step is, but we also work a lot on sustainability of that culture. So it doesn't mean that we have to stay there forever, but we really do need their leaders and people that have other people reporting to them to model those behaviors and continue scaling that culture.
Mm-hmm. And that sustainability and consistency is probably important, whether you're a small business, 10 employees or less, or a large business, just the churn on an annual basis at any particular company. People may be leaving, people are retiring, things don't work out. New people are coming in. How are you
We have a great tool on our website. It's a turnover cost calculator. And, a lot of times small businesses will say, we don't have money to invest in culture. And I tell them, can you tell me how many people you lost last year? Because a fraction of that is what you can save by having a good culture. So it's not only, you hire the employee, you train the employee left. Now you're putting stress on the people that are still there. So now they're overworked, they might be thinking about leaving, there's mental health. There are just so many factors.
And then the leadership of the company or somebody has to then spend the time again onboarding.
In the business, not on the business.
Yeah.
Yes. So I say it's a high cost of turnover for every business, but for smaller businesses, and I own one myself, is even more drastic because just losing a person is not like you have 50 other people to replace that person. So your entire operation everything slows down.
Right. So you work with companies on a regular basis on some of that culture development, team building. But in the meantime, while you're doing that and with the family obligations, you've written a book.
Yes, I think it's all together. So it's 17 years of trial and error and working on culture. It's evidence-based. So it is really a framework. It's our validated framework on how to take an abstract idea of culture to something that is practical. And I like to say it's a blend between poetry, like the nice words, the things you put on the website and your values and everything else, and plumbing, like the things that actually work. So you need both.
I like it, yeah.
Yes.
So it's Culture Minded is the title, 6 tools to transform organizational culture and empower humanity. So the tools, I don't want to give the book away, but just generally speaking, we'll do a little teaser so people can order the book on Amazon.
Absolutely. There are 6 capabilities, and we look at them from a lens of maturity. For some capabilities, you might be at a very mature level, but for other ones, you need to develop. And a lot of companies, they want a sense of belonging, or they want process improvement, but they haven't mastered the basic capabilities, your leadership team, your shared values, your employee engagement. So that's why the other capabilities fail. So we really connect everything together through the book.
Right. And the experience in writing the book, what was that process like?
Well. It is, I guess, sometimes I read parts of the book and I'm like, did I write that? I think once you get into the flow of writing, it was a really unique experience. I'm a small business. I don't have a following or anything like that, but it made best-selling on Amazon, which was a big surprise. And, sometimes I look at the reports and there are sales in Germany or in Brazil, and it's like, wow, maybe it needed to come out.
Right. So would you lock yourself in a room for a couple hours?
Oh,
or
I
disappear
wish. I have 3 boys, so 4 with my husband. No, I believe in small increments, so I did work consistently every morning before everyone else got up for about a year.
Wow, that's great. And so you mentioned Amazon. That people can get the book there.
Yes.
Anywhere else? Or
we are on a couple of local bookstores, but Amazon is the main way of getting it, or our website.
Your website. And what is the website?
It's cultureredesigned.com, and I'm also very active on LinkedIn, Adriana Vaccaro.
Right. And so that's an opportunity for someone to acquire the book, but also if they wanted to consult with you, have a conversation with you about potentially obtaining hiring your services for their business. Yes,
and that's really the idea. I believe that great organizational cultures lead to a better society and humanity, really, because if you think about it, your experience at work doesn't end at 5 p.m.
Right.
It trickles into the type of parent you are, the type of friend you are, your mental health.
Right.
I read something horrible yesterday, a review from Harvard. 1 of every 4 working mothers consider suicide at some point. And it's horrifying to think about it, and how having a great culture could support things like that.
Right. Well, you're working on that one business at a time and one book at a time.
Yes.
So, Culture Redesigned, Adriana Vaccaro, thanks for being with us again on the show, and look forward to the next book.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being with us for this edition of the show, and our sponsors, Bank Hometown and St. Vincent Hospital.